right, peace and blessings to the family, love and light. It's your brother, OMNI OMNIS, also known as OMNIS, aka the Nature Guy family. A segment of Black News 720 family. Again, this is something that I love to do, to research, to be on point with information, and just try to be of service of, in any way that I can to my community. And so that's what we're here for today. So the last time I did a Bill family probably was about a good 2 months, maybe 3 months ago. So it's been a little hot minute, but I'm still gonna do my big one. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna keep striving. I'm still gonna keep exercising. Like, I look at the consciousness and learning and growing and evolving, just like, reading a book or working out. You know what I'm saying? You improving yourself, you working on yourself. And that's what it's all about. Self-love, love for self, knowledge of self, awareness of self, and your surroundings. You feel me? So it's about the holistic OMNIVISION perspective. And that's what we're here for today, family. So love and light to everybody that's in the building. So y'all know I like to come from a educational standpoint. I am a spiritual person, but I'm also an intellectual. I like to know how things work and why they work. That's the direction that I guess the universe took me. I feel like it's my job to, kind of put the microscope, family, on identity from an educational standpoint. Most Black people in America don't know anything about Blacks prior to slavery. All we know is that, there was slavery. So there was bias historically, right? There was racism historically. We had the anti-literacy laws where Blacks were not allowed to read in America, or, that would be considered a criminal act for someone to look like me to be interested in learning and education. All right. In 2017, family, biotechnology company called Gentech, says that Blacks only account for 5% in clinical trials in the United States. 5% clinical trials. Right? So whenever there's a scientific study that comes out that says humans should do this, everyone should do this, vaccinations, there's different things that it applies to. But everyone should do this. This is healthy. This is, they have a standard for what's healthy, what's health, and what's not. Blacks in America only count for 5% of those clinical trials. All right. So what does that mean, family? That means that a lot of the times when there's a recommendation of health, or there's a certain standard for health that's set, that it's based on people of Caucasian descent or European descent, family. They're not people that look like me. All right. So just keep that in mind. And a lady named Quita Biller Highsmith from Gentech, made a quote, "We cannot find one patient of color that had participated in our research to speak at the NBA Gentech, considering being a Black in America." And people go to the hospital for different things. You got loved ones going through situations. You want what's best for them. You want the best outcome for them, but hey, I guess they already set the tone for America in the beginning when it came to Blacks and how they thought about us when it was illegal for us to read. And it was okay for human beings to be slaves to another human being. All right. Now, according to National Institute of Health, family, there's approximately 2/3 of African Americans, 68%, have a blood type called Duffy-Null phenotype. The Duffy-Null phenotype is immunity against parasites like malaria. 2 out of 3 Americans, 68%, have the Duffy-Null phenotype. Genotype is the genetic material, right? genes, right? That transcribes into the phenotype, which is the physical characteristics and traits. The sum of gene expression. In layman terms, genes are expressed based on genetic coding, right? So when they say that a white person can be a O blood type, a black person can be a O blood type, a Chinese person can be a O blood type, right? That goes against genotype phenotype transcription, family. And I feel, yes, that I have a discrepancy with that because that's not scientific. The way that you look is based on your genetic coding. So if you have a certain blood type, that should be based on your genes. The blood is a part of the genes, the genetic coding, family. All right. So that's not to be separated from who you are. All right. So that's a common misnomer that's taught that I disagree with. Common misnomer. Benign ethnic neutropenia. Right? Benign ethnic neutropenia, also known as BEN, B-E-N, family, right? Results in low WBC counts, right? Without risk of infection, which is common amongst what? African Americans, right? According to the American Society of Hematology. Whereas to other groups will have a high WBC count, and the white blood cells is pretty much dealing with the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system is like the waste industries. They take out the trash, the garbage. All right. So if you got a lot of white blood cells, you got a lot of waste in your blood. All right. So just to try to keep it as simple as possible. So whenever you talk to your doctor or a nurse, make sure you mention to them that there is studies out that show that African Americans genetically are different when it comes to standards of health in comparison to other groups. But one of the quotes by this guy named Titus Lucretius from Greece, he says, "One man's food is another man's poison." Now again, this speaks to identity. One man's food is another man's poison. And this guy was a philosopher he was from Rome, from Pompeii family. 94 BCE, Titus Lucretius. One man's food is another man's poison. You have different species that eat different food sources, right? And so we don't want to just generalize. Hippocrates, right here, 4060 BCE to 377 BCE. He said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thine food," family. So pretty much he's saying that he has an anti-pharmaceutical message. Why I thought this was important is because in Western society, when you want to be a doctor, when you want to practice medicine, you want to help people, you want to heal people, you have to vow and you have to take the Hippocratic Oath, and that's based on Hippocrates of Greece, which they call him the father of medicine. Okay? And he says, "Let thy food be thy medicine," not go take medicine. What's going on in the comments, family? Make sure, family, that y'all show some love. I say to your champs girl in the building. You know what I'm saying? I embrace you and I appreciate your time and your energy. I've even got testing done, family, and the results came back a little bit different than what I thought it was, but I was just trying to understand, how can you associate a black person with an antigenic blood type? All right. So my screen should be sharing now, family. All right. So look, here we go right here. Blood types, family. If y'all have any questions about blood type, this is very important when it comes to immunology, when it comes to the immune system, disease, allergic reactions to certain things, you know, what's healthy and what's not, family. So you most definitely want to know your blood type. All right, so blood type right here, Wikipedia, family. A blood type, also known as a blood group, is a classification of blood, right, based on the presence and absence keywords, presence and absence of antibodies and inherited antigenic substances on the surface of red blood cells, RBCs. So we just start right there. A blood type, also known as a blood group, is a classification of blood based on the presence and absence of antibodies and inherited antigenic substances on the surface of red blood cells. All right. Now we see right here. All right. The blood type, we have group A, we have group B, we have group AB, right? And then we have group O. Now the difference between these blood groups, right, to make it make sense as short and sweet as possible, is you have antigenic groups. Remember the COVID with the spike proteins, right? The coronavirus, right? You see the corona going around the A group. Those are spike proteins associated with antigenic substances. And so A group is the A blood type because it has A antigens, which are pathogenic substances that contaminates the blood cells. So you see the blood cell, and then you see the spike proteins going around the cell. All right. So that's group A. So in group A, you have anti-B plasma so that's for the antibodies. And then the antigens, they have an A antigen, and then they have a B antibody. So that's how it works. A group has A antigen, so it's A group to make it simple as possible, right? So, and then you have a B antibody. So in the B group, you have a blood cell with pathogenic, with the spike proteins going around the cell. So you see that the cell is contaminated, right? Because it's the classification of blood is based on the presence and absence of antibodies and inherited antigenic substances. These spike proteins are the inherited antigenic substances that has contaminated the blood. The blood is impure, family, all right? So you see right here an antibody. So they give us antibiotics because antibiotics help to fight off infection, right? And so when you go to the doctor, they prescribe you antibiotics because we have them in our blood plasma, depending on your blood grouping, right? And so these are the actual immune defenders, even though they're teaching that the white blood cells are defending the immune system. It's the antibodies. We don't go to the doctor to get white blood cell pills, or we don't go to the doctor to get leukocyte pills. We go to the doctor to get antibiotics to fight against infection, not white blood cell pills. All right. And so the B group has B antigen, the spike proteins going around the cell, and then it has one A antibody in the plasma. That's why people go to the plasma center to donate, right? You go to the plasma center to donate so they can extract your antibodies from the plasma. Look it up in Google. Where is the antibodies located? In the plasma, right here, family. So the AB group has two foreign antigenic substances in the bloodstream, two different pathogens, right? Going around the cell. And then in the plasma, this group, the AB group, has the lowest immunity, right? Because they have no immune defenders. So if you guys know how this subject works, this science works, family. All right. Now in the antigens on the red blood cell, like I said, is A and B, but it has no immune defenders, so they will have the lowest immunity. And now we get to the O blood group, which sets it all apart, family. The O blood group, right, has 0 antigens. And so this means that it's a non-antigenic blood group, which separates it from other groups, right? All of these groups have antigenic, pathogenic surfaces on the red blood cells. You can see it surrounding the cell. But with the O group, you don't see those spike proteins. You see, like I said, the spike proteins are associated with viruses, pathogens. That's why they call it the coronavirus, the crown protein family. That it's those are spike proteins that pathogens use to connect to other cells, to infiltrate other cells. All right. And these are like rogue, pretty much like rogue cells at that point, family. So the O blood group is special because it's non-antigenic. And this is what I'm saying, family. The O blood group is also associated with African Americans, but they have a name. The reason why I say that is because it's a non-antigenic blood group or bloodline, right? And so that's what we see right here with the O group. But they call it, family, what is the name of it? They call it Duffy Noel. Duffy Noel. So let me pull up Duffy Noel so you guys can see what I mean by that. I want y'all to see how blood is associated with race. Never let somebody tell you that any race can be any blood type. I absolutely disagree with that. So I'm looking right quick to see like, okay, so I see it right here. Here we go. All right. All right, so let me just go to it. The RO subtypes and the Duffy negative blood types. So let me go to it. Share this tab right here. All right, so now I'm sharing another tab with y'all. Hopefully y'all can see it because I'm doing the live by myself at this point, but it's all good. We're gonna get it going. It's been too long. The wait been too long, family. All right. So anyway, it says right here in the AI overview, family, that Duffy negative blood type, specifically FYAB phenotype, Duffy Noel, mean red blood cells lack both FYA and FYB antigen. So they're speaking on the A and B antigen, a genetic trait common around 67% in people of African descent, but are rare in Caucasians. This is what I was just teaching y'all. I was trying to emphasize on this, family. Race is associated with bloodline. I don't know how they're getting this confused. So when you're donating blood, you know what I'm saying? Blood that's in higher demand is usually coming from Black people, people of color, people in urban communities where they're getting paid incentive of a couple of dollars, you know what I'm saying, just to donate their blood plasma because you have a blood grouping that is plasma rich. You have the antibodies that the doctors give us and prescribe to us to fight infection in your blood naturally. And when you go to donate, they extract those plasma-rich antibodies from you. All right? But I'm saying blood type is associated with race. So stop playing around. All right? So Duffy negative is associated with people of African descent, family. All right? I finished reading, said genetic trait common in 67% in people of African descent, but rare in the Caucasians, providing protection against Plasmodium, Vivax malaria. That's why I don't know how the African children keep coming up with malaria. They got to be giving it to them because naturally we have immune systems that are resistant against parasites. All right? Though newer strains can still infect some and is linked to lower neutrophil count. See? Lower neutrophil. We don't have the white blood cell that's full of waste in our bodies like that, family. Our blood is more pure than other groups, I believe. This is what the information indicates. The lack of antigen is due to specific mutations, often in the promoter region, affecting red blood cell expression, but sometimes still allowing protein production in other tissues, impacting transfusion needs. All right. So on to the next. So I wanted to show y'all that Duffy negative blood type is associated with a specific genetic grouping. People of descent, black people, all right? Negroes, all right? People that look like me. So on to the next. The RO subtypes. RO subtypes. All right, share this tab. RO subtypes. All right. And it says right here by blood.co.uk. What is the RO subtype and why is it important? RO is a rare blood subtype that plays a crucial role in the treatment of sickle cell disorder, right? So it has something to do with sickle cell anemia. In the AI overview, RO blood type refers to a specific crucial subtype within the Rh blood group system characterized by the presence of D, C, and E antigen, but lacking C and E antigen on red blood cells. All right. So give a damn what antigen it is, right? Either you're antigenic or you're non-antigenic. If you have antigen, then you have mutations and your blood is not pure. Your blood is impure. You have blood impurities. That's what it is. When you have parasites in the blood family, it's a blood infection. All right. This is why they said with Europeans came death, sickness, and disease. The natives were known to be infected by smallpox, cowpox. They had the black plague in Europe, the bubonic plague. All of this stuff is from pathogens in the bloodstream. All right. And so remember Duffy-Null and RO subtypes. All right. One second. It says, if you are a Black African or Caribbean heritage, consider donating blood as you are more likely to have RO subtype. See that, family? NHS blood donation. I think it's the website is bloodco.uk.org. They say if you are Black, African, or Caribbean heritage, consider donating blood as you're more likely to have RO subtype. All right, so it's something to think about, family. All right. According to, what is it? Cleveland Clinic, NHS.UK, and the National Institute of Health, the ABO blood group system, O, stands for OMNI, OHNE, right? O stands for OMNI, OHNE, the German word for without, right? So the word means without, okay? So O blood group is OMNI, meaning without, because it's without antigen, without parasite, without blood infection, without blood contamination. So again, O, I believe, is associated with Native and indigenous peoples. And this is why they say people of African descent, people, African Americans, people of Caribbean descent, you know, it's all giving you that phenotypical expression of a Black person. You feel me? That's what it's doing, family. So OM stands for without, right? That's what it means etymologically. It's a German word, but it also means original, because to be an original means to be without antigen. To be without antigen, family. And that's why antigenic blood types can donate from the types that don't have antigens, because they're rich in antibodies. They're rich in immune defense. All right. If that makes any sense. All right. Let me see. All right, let me see, family. Give me 1 second. All right, family. All right, so this is the guy, Willem Johansen. All right, geneticist, professor of plant physiology, and graduate in pharmacology at Pharmaceutical College in 1880. All right, Willem Johansen, family. He's the one who came up with the theory of heredity. All right, and it's like I said, it's pretty much dealing with the genotype and phenotype. All right, the genotype is the genetic typing, which translates and transcribes into the physical traits and characteristics, and so they are interconnected. They are entangled together. They are associated with each other. How it looks has something to do with its genetic coding. Its genetic coding has something to do with how it looks. I don't see what's so complicated about that. Everybody cannot have the same blood type, family. All right? Blood type, again, is based on race, family, genealogy. All right? And right here. Right? 1 second. Okay, so according to Healthline or healthline.com, it says, is blood associated with genes? It says yes. Blood is strongly associated with genes. Your blood type, like ABO/RH, is directly inherited from your parents through specific genes, like the ABO gene, which code for proteins, antigens on your red blood cells, determining your blood group. That's what I just said. Okay. So that's how it works, family. I don't know where the confusion is coming from. It's either individuals who are not educated about the subject matter, or there's just someone who seems to be interested in education and they have a delusional way of thinking or seeing. All right. But anyway, yeah, family, we are made biologically different. We have different biological makeups as different, ethnic groups. There's no such thing as race scientifically. Technically, your ethnic group, your genetic group. So it all goes back to genetics. So this is one thing I wanted to show you guys right here about antigenic groups. Right? Hold on 1 second. Lice. All right. So I had a friend of mine who had a situation where her kid contracted lice from another little kid who was non-African descent. All right. And they had lice. And my friend, her son wore the helmet and he contracted lice from the other little kid. So right here, it says lice are tiny parasitic. Remember I told you about the antigens? This is like worms, little creatures, microorganisms in the blood. Lice are tiny parasitic insects that live on people's skin, feeding on human blood, causing itching and infestation. Pediculosis, with common types being head lice, scalp, pubic lice, crabs, and body lice, clothing seams. You know what I'm saying? And so your lice is more common with people of European descent, people of non-African descent. So let me share my screen right here. According to medical news today, head lice seem to be more common in Caucasians, Hispanic, and Asian American people than African American people. See that? October 30th of 2021, medical news today. Head lice seems to be more common in Caucasian, Hispanic, and Asian people than in African American people. All right? And that's for a reason, family. The antigen, the parasites, the microscopic microorganisms in the bloodstream, due to their genetic grouping, which is inherent. And it's not like when somebody contracts like a STI or something like that, which is still dealing with microbials in the bloodstream, parasites in the bloodstream. And so a lot of disease, family, like illness, it comes down to microbials contaminating the bloodstream. That's what's going on. All right, family. Sorry about that. We seem to be having some technical difficulties. But yeah, I just wanted to share some information with y'all, man. Feel free to do your own research. Never take anything for face value. Always investigate. Always look into it. Do diligence. You know what I'm saying?